my dear friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy, my husband is Paul. We're an early retirement, debt and mortgage-free couple living in the state of New York. And our videos just show you how to have a full, abundant life while spending less money. Today is Tuesday, which means it's viewer's choice or challenge, where you, the viewer, have written in to our email address asking us to do certain types of videos. And this one is highly requested. We get emails all the time saying, can you please do some more Crockpot recipes? With the price of everything going up, the Crockpot is one of the most economical ways we can cook our meals. And today we have out of this world delicious recipes we want to share with you. The first one being Crockpot creamy chicken and noodles. The second one being an easy, delicious baked ziti. We hope you enjoy these. We will link the original recipes down below, but I do tweak my recipes, so if you want to take some notes as I'm going along, I try to tweak them so that you are guaranteed to get the best results. So we hope that is helpful that we do that. First one we're going to do is the Crockpot creamy chicken and noodles. What I love about this recipe is it uses no canned soups. We're going to make our own. Please know that instead of the homemade cream of soup I will be showing you how to make, you can definitely use a can of cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, cream of celery, whatever you prefer. So I am going to turn this camera around and we're going to get into the kitchen for the most comforting, warm, creamy chicken and noodles. Here we go. We are going to be making for dinner this evening creamy Crockpot chicken and noodles. Very economical, very easy. This is about an 11-ounce chicken breast. This is 4 tablespoons of butter. We have a little bit of garlic powder, and we have a little bit of onion powder. We're going to need about 8 ounces of egg noodles. These are the hearty egg noodles, which are a little bit bigger, and I would suggest something like that than the real thin ones. Then we need 3.5 cups of chicken broth. I usually will add about 2.5 cups and a cup of water, and that's exactly what I did. And this is low sodium chicken broth. It also calls for 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. And by all means, you can add the 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, but I'm going to show you how to make cream of soup. Simple, plain, delicious, no MSG, not too heavily salted, and it will work perfect in this recipe. So let's make that first. Now for our cream of soup, this is equivalent to a can of cream soup. The recipe called for 2 cans, but I'm literally going to use 1, and it's going to be homemade and it's going to be delicious. It's basically like a white bechamel sauce. I have 3 tablespoons of butter that I'm melting on top of the stove. To that, I'm going to add 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of flour. And I'm just going to give this a good whisk and cook it down for maybe 30 seconds. We want to cook that flour. We don't want that raw flour. And this is over medium heat right now. And you want to keep stirring this because it will burn. And you can see this got just a little bit brown. Now to this we're going to add a half a cup of chicken stock and a half a cup of milk. And also to that, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, just a sprinkle of salt or to taste, and a good amount of cracked black pepper. And now we're going to whisk this together till it becomes nice and thick. Keep stirring it over medium heat. Now you can see after just about a minute how thick this got. This is no different than what they're giving you in a can of cream soup. The only difference is you know what is in this. So that's looking pretty perfect. So we're going to turn this off right now. So I put the chicken breast on the bottom of the crock pot. Now I'm taking the cream soup, and if you're using canned soup, you're going to do exactly the same. And we're putting it right on top of the chicken. And you can see this wasn't difficult to make at all, the cream soup. And I'm telling you, you will be amazed at how delicious it comes out. And we're just going to add a little bit more garlic, a little bit more onion, and a little bit more salt and pepper, however you prefer it. But we seasoned that pretty well. And now I'm just going to take the butter, put that on top. This is going to be very rich, but this is chicken and noodles. So this isn't like a hard, healthy thing that you eat every day. Our son is coming over for dinner tonight, and he will love this. And then I'm just going to add the chicken stock. We're going to cover this, and we're going to let it cook on high for about 3 to 4 hours. And we'll check it at 3 hours. That's all there is to it. So this has been cooking for just about 3 hours. Now what I'm going to do is take my fork and I'm going to shred the chicken. Now a lot of people take the chicken out to shred it. I do it right in here. It just works better for me. But I'm going to be a mother. Be careful, this is super hot while you're shredding. You don't want to hit your hand into it. So that's what I'm going to do. Just take this chicken and take it apart. Dixie smells chicken. So the chicken is all shredded. I'm taking 6 ounces of dried egg noodles. I'm going to add that. And then I have about 1.5 cups of mixed vegetables. And I'm going to add that in as well. Adding the mixed vegetables was a last-minute decision, and I would encourage you to add them as well. It made this a complete meal in one. I'm going to cover this again, and I'm going to let it cook now for about 30 minutes until the noodles are tender. And with the vegetables, they were frozen, and I just ran them under a little hot water to defrost them. So that's all there is. So now we'll wait another 30 minutes, see how this comes out. Okay, so this cooked about another 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and I did stir it once. Oh my goodness, does this look delicious. You can see it didn't separate by using the homemade cream of soup. Look at this. What a perfect cool weather meal. The vegetables, the chicken is tender. Look at that creamy sauce. You can grate a little cheese on it. Give it a dash of hot sauce like I know my husband will do. And this is perfect. And it is another crock pot meal. Simple, easy, frugal. 1 chicken breast, and you probably can serve roughly around 6 people comfortably. That was such a delicious meal. Comforting, warm, made a tremendous amount, very economical, 1 chicken breast. I am telling you, if you have never tried to make your own cream of soup, the recipe I shared with you is so easy, so delicious, and it enhances any meal that calls for a traditional can of cream soup. So we hope you enjoyed that. Now, for our second recipe, we're going to give it a little bit of an Italian flair. Everyone loves baked ziti. So delicious, but it can be time consuming because you have to boil the pasta before you mix all the ingredients, and then you have to put it in the oven and bake it. Well, guess what? Everything for this recipe is done in the crock pot. Let's turn around and get into our Italian kitchen. The next recipe we're going to be making is a delicious crock-pot baked ziti. It uses minimal ingredients and it's absolutely wonderful. So the first thing we're going to need is a box of ziti, but you can use penne, rotini, whatever you want. I'm just using ziti because these were on super special. I think we paid like 44 cents a box for this a couple weeks ago. So I just picked it up and put it in the pantry. You're going to need about 1.5 cups of mozzarella, shredded. The recipe calls for 65 ounces of your favorite spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce. I usually used can, so I am going to use one 28-ounce can of tomato sauce, and then I'm going to use 2 of the 14.5-ounce diced tomatoes, and that comes out to about 57 ounces, so I'll just add a little bit of water with that. We need 2 eggs, some basil. If you're using dry, just use a little bit less. 15 ounces of ricotta cheese. And that is it. This is going to make a very large crock pot full. You don't have to boil the pasta ahead of time. This is going to be your go-to recipe for baked ziti from now on. First thing I'm going to do is take about half a cup of the mozzarella and add it to the ricotta. I'm going to mix this all together. So I just transferred the ricotta and the mozzarella to a bigger bowl because you know I do this all the time. Now I'm going to take the fresh basil. I'm just going to put it into smaller pieces and I'm going to add it right here. I'm going to add the 2 eggs to the ricotta. This acts as a binder. And I forgot to add that you're probably going to want a little sprinkling of garlic in there too. Now we're just going to mix this together. Now because I am using canned tomatoes, I'm mixing them all together in a bowl. Because I used diced tomatoes and tomato sauce, I wanted them to be mixed together. If you're using plain pasta sauce out of a jar, then of course you don't need to do this step. Before I plugged my crock pot in or turned it on, I greased the entire crock pot. So the first thing I'm going to do is put 2 cups of sauce on the bottom of the crock pot. And then I'm going to take a third of the box of ziti and sprinkle it right on top. I'm going to take half of the ricotta mixture and we're just going to put that on top of the ziti and sauce. It's going to sink a little, there's nothing you can do, but you get the idea of what you need to do. Now another 2 cups of sauce. Another third of the box of ziti. So each layer gets a third of the box of ziti. Now we're going to put the rest of the ricotta, and then we're going to put the 2 cups of sauce. Now I'm going to just take some Parmesan cheese and put it on top. We're not going to put the rest of the mozzarella on top until this is almost cooked. That layer of Parmesan cheese just gives it that nutty, delicious taste, and that will melt right into the sauce, which is what we want. The last bit of our ziti, covered it with the last amount of sauce, and I am just pushing it down to make sure everything is covered. We plugged it in. I put it on high. We're going to cover it and let it cook for 2 hours, and that's all there is to it. And right before it's done, we'll add a top layer of mozzarella. This cooked for 2 hours. Now I'm going to sprinkle the rest of that mozzarella cheese on top, and we're going to cover it just until it's melted, another minute or 2. So we are going to spoon some of this out. Oh my goodness. You can definitely add, oh my goodness, look at this. Some cooked beef to this, some cooked sausage. We wanted to keep, the cheese is everywhere. We wanted to keep it meatless. All right, I'm going to taste a little bit of this, see how it came out. I just tasted. The only thing I would have done is possibly cooked it maybe about 15 minutes less than the 2 hours. If your crock pot runs hot, please check it. This pasta is delicious. It is tender, but we like ours just a little more al dente. So just a little tip, if your crock pot runs hot, keep an eye on it. With a slice of Italian bread and a green salad, what a delicious meal. That was so ooey and gooey, delicious. Every single one of these recipes are Paul approved, by the way. Another winner for the upcoming cooler months. You will be very pleased with this. We hope these crockpot recipes were helpful and will be helpful as we start getting into the cooler months. You want those warm comfort foods that will stretch your dollar and make really nice sized portions. These recipes are a must do. The question of the day is, what is your easy go-to favorite crockpot recipe? What recipe for the crockpot do you go back to time and time again? Please share that with us down below. If it's a quick recipe, let us know. You know we love to hear from you. It encourages us and it encourages our viewers as well, and we appreciate that. So we thank you for sharing this time with us. We appreciate you so much. Please, if you would take a minute and just give this video a thumbs up. It helps us so much out in the world of YouTube to just push our videos out there and let others who may not know we're even on here get to be a part of our family. Please subscribe if you haven't. Don't forget your comment. And if you make any of these recipes, tag me over on Instagram and I'll put you on my story. Let me know how you enjoy them. We ask you to stay well. We ask you to be safe. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, may God bless you.